Well, what's up, everybody, and welcome to BdeBURRO, the English edition. If you haven't yet seen the Spanish edition with Mr. Sombrero over here, you are missing out because he is hilarious. But we're going to be doing something in English today, and which is very important for all of you guys to just check this out. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, here on Facebook, YouTube, and all the channels where you enjoy these amazing videos. So check this out. So what about this whole NAACP and the Rachel thing? And is she black? Is she white? I mean, like, seriously? Like, this woman really thought that by getting a tan and doing a weave that she would pass as black, as African American? I don't get it. Like, and by the way, this is nothing like what's happening with Jenner and all of that stuff. Two different animals, apples and oranges. Don't compare the two. But I mean, like, someone who really deceived not only herself and her family and the general public, but her own people, meaning the NAACP, the own organization, had to like now is dealing with all this stuff and wondering what's going on. Is she really legit? Now, here's one thing: even if she did lie, which obviously she deceived a ton of people, like, I mean, she still obviously has stood for the right things for a very long time. So, in my opinion, she needs to fess up, maybe, you know, obviously pay back some things, or maybe she has to, like, go through some sort of, I don't know, like therapy, or some problem obviously is going on with her. But to me, if she really is standing alongside of African American causes where we need so much help, regardless of color, regardless of race, regardless of all these things, then to me, we need to give her a second chance. We truly need to stand by anybody who wants to stand for civil rights, and especially someone that's not African American, who's a non-minority, who's a majority person, a white person, who's standing for what is right in our culture and our country today. So now, second thing, what about this whole thing of FIFA and all that's going on? Have you heard about this? Now, back a couple weeks ago, there was a big deal on the news and ESPN about the FIFA executives bribing or being bribed, you know, millions of dollars to have the World Cup that's coming up in Russia, etc. Now, here's the thing: who cares? Now, I love football. Okay, like, I'm a fan. I love the sport, but I mean, this only makes us as Americans think even less about the sport. So, like, you know, this is just sad for the whole sport. This is so, just in some ways, for many of us, we've known about this for years. Like, who cares? Like, play the sport, get rid of these people that are thieves and robbers, especially, you know, this quote president who now resigned and blah, 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 or he's going to still be around until, you know, hi Daisy, until, you know, they find a sub or something. But, you know, the point is, come on, man. Like, really, does anybody care about all of your stealing and what a thief you are? Get away. Go and actually pay back all the money to the people that you've been bribing for years. And as far as, you know, taking away the next World Cup from Russia, I don't think we need to. You know, I mean, these countries need the help. Now, on the other hand, a lot of these countries like Brazil and these other places where World Cups have been played, it seems like people don't even want the World Cup because of the corruption, because of all of the stuff that's built, these stadiums that then nobody uses for years, and the economy of the country goes downhill because all the money goes back to FIFA. Again, who cares? Clean, you know, get your act together and move on. Number 3, graduation speeches. Like, man, like, I am so bored with most speeches. Do well in school, go out there and get them, you know, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I want to say to you as a graduate. Here's my spiel. You know, people say in terms of like spiritual things that most people lose their faith. You know what? Don't lose your faith. I didn't lose my faith in college. In fact, it got stronger. So my word for you as a college graduate, or maybe if you're just even going from high school to college, is grow in your faith. Actually spend time getting closer to God. Don't be afraid of professors who may, quote, scare you out of your faith and evolution is real and creation is, you know, a big hoax. Instead, get closer to God. Actually make it a goal to get closer to God and grow in your faith during college or now that you're out of college. Make that your goal. And then lastly, speaking of college, what about the debt that most students are having to deal with these days? I read an article recently that most people are basically just drowning underneath piles and piles and thousands of dollars of debt. We're talking about $100,000. We're talking about 70, 80,000. I mean, that's like a really tiny house. I don't know where exactly, but that's like a mortgage. And so I was reading this article that said that after 25 years, you can, quote, default on your debt and the government will just forgive you. I don't know if that's a really smart plan. And from what I've read, the government is going to get you. And you can't exactly just sort of like stop paying your debt, stop paying your loans. So what I recommend is get together with someone that knows about budgeting, a financial planner, an accountant, somebody that can help your parents, and walk and go through your budget. Spend less money on Starbucks. Like seriously, just stop spending so much money on trivial things and save your money. And in my opinion, having a college education is a good thing. Now here's the other thing that I would say. If you are thinking about going to college and getting into a $90,000 debt or having your parents take out a second loan on their house so they can pay for your college education, don't do it. There are many other ways that you can get a high-paying job, especially these days. Now, here's what I'm going to say. If you're not a go-getter, if you're not a business-type person, if you never had a lemonade stand, if you're just suddenly wanting to make money, quote, going online or starting your own tech company or your own startup, don't do it. Really, it has to be kind of like who you are. Starting your own business is tough. Even these days, you can't just simply put a picture on Instagram and expect, 3 million people to pay you. So what if you have 1 million followers? How many of them are actually paying you money so that you can live and pay the rent and pay for gas? Think about that before you go into debt. Think about that before you default on your loan. Be smart, be wise, and like we say here, stop being a BdeBURRO. Use your brain. Thanks so much for watching.